People are sometimes unsure what to say on Veterans Day. Do you say Happy Veterans Day? Is that somehow disrespectful? Far from it. We observe and commemorate Memorial Day. It is about the fallen. But Veterans Day includes everybody who served honorably and those who are still serving honorably in the armed forces of the greatest nation in the world.
How old were you when you got to Vietnam?
I was 17 when I went in the Army. I was 18 when I got to Vietnam.
And what rank were you?
I was a Sergeant E5, which was pretty good for just
Pretty good
being
for
in the
18.
service, less than 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a squad?
No, yeah, I had a squad. I can't even think straight anymore. But I was kind of a rebel, so they let me do what I did best. I pulled point a lot, and I worked with weapons platoon some, but I didn't like the fact that it seemed like it was unproportioned. The regular line squads were getting hit worse than the weapons platoon. So I transferred to a line squad where I could see more combat. I also was I was trained to bring the 81s and the 70 millimeter mortars on top of the enemy. So I'd be sitting out there 150 feet from the enemy with my back to a tree hoping they couldn't see me, and I'd be on a plotting map. So I did a lot of different things, but I wanted to be where the action was. Most guys didn't want to get in the foxhole with me because they thought I was a little nuts, and I guess I was.
So when did you get there yourself?
I got there in June of 1968, and when we went over, and when you go into the country, they did what they call P training, and that more or less was letting you get used to the climate and working in and figuring out how to run a unit there. And I had graduated out of an NCOC class. They called us instant NCOs because they were losing so many NCOs. They needed
How long was that training?
Do what?
How long was that training?
That training was 4 months. It's 4 months there in Fort Benning, Georgia. And I still have the 72nd Company was the one that I graduated out of in March of 1968, and then I went into country in June of 68 then.
And how old were you when you got in country?
20. 20 years old. I turned 21 in Vietnam.